Welcome to the Unclehack Podcast, where dudes pretty much just talk dude shit.
Welcome to another episode of the Unclehack Podcast. Oh, thank you, the listener. First off, a few announcements. What a lovely setup. The TV ain't working. Anyways, December 11th, this weekend, that's the Sunday. Guess what? Sunday. Edmonton, Alberta. All up in that ass. At the comic strip here in Edmonton, Alberta. That's right. December 11th. December 17th, we will be heading. That's next weekend to Cranbrook, BC. New Year's Eve extravaganza with the cats in Banff, Alberta. That should be fun, wouldn't it? You want to go down to Banff? January 1st, the Danger Room returns to Calgary, Alberta. January 13th, where are we at right here? I got to update my little list. Oh, January 13th, Peace River. January 20th, I lay that sucker right there. The Roast Battle Championship on the line against none other than Charles Haycock, the number one contender who I'm going to rip apart in front of all of you, verbally assault a man until he whimpers away into the dark corners of the Yuck Yucks Comedy Club in Calgary, Alberta. That's right. Mouth of the South is back. We're writing. We're hotter than ever. I'm just getting over a sickness, if you cannot tell. It's been a battle, uphill battle, but another battle that's going to be in our near sights is January 21st at Rocky Mountain House, followed by the next weekend, Camrose, Alberta on January 28th, and then Kindersley, Saskatchewan, February 2nd, and to end that little runabout, these next dates, Provost, Alberta. Now, if you want to book us, just email support@dangercats.tv. You know, you got a bar, a little theater, or you think the cats would fit your fucking, well, I don't know. I don't give a shit what it is. Fuck you, pay me, I believe is the attitude going into 2023 this year. All right. You know, it's a good attitude, I think, to have. We've been too kind for too long. All right. Big episode. I'm all over the map. I'm jacked up on life, you know. I got my kicks this morning by waking up, heading down to Twitter and reading all the fine news that's out there that all these people are providing for us. And you know, nothing satisfies my soul than watching bloggers of this country cry on the internet. That really tells me the state of media is at its peak, you know. It peaked. Nothing I want to hear more is a blogger from a 2-bedroom apartment in Toronto, Ontario, make a TikTok crying about how hard her job is, you know, like nothing. And, you know, first off, I want to say this. I don't condone death threats, although unless you're going to send them to this show, then that's okay. We call it hate mail and we encourage it. And that's why we started this, is to prove that things said on the internet are just things said on the internet. Should we take them seriously? You know what? If somebody's going to shoot me in the fucking back of the skull while I'm out trying to order a coffee in a McDonald's drive-thru and end my sorry, shallow life in front of the eyes of some teenager that's just trying to pay for his first vehicle, or she, or Z, or Zer, then you know what? I hope they take that as a life lesson. I hope they take that as a life lesson, that there is bigger things to risk your life over than jokes. Like, for instance, drug dealing. It's much more profitable than what I'm doing. Okay? And if you're willing to risk your life over the fact that you believe in, I don't know, freedom of speech, the ability to use your mouth to say whatever the fuck you want to say, then so be it. Die a poor man. Which I probably will. I know a lot, I do talk to a few, but hey, don't quit what you're doing. Well, I don't got an option. I'm not that hireable at the moment. Okay? Especially if a big like most businesses now are very corporate. They're very large, so you are just a number in that company, and they don't want that company represented unwell. I'm a very unhireable guy, so it is difficult for me to just step my foot back into the workforce like nothing ever happened, I've said faggot way too many times on this podcast to ever be like, wow, what a bright young man. I see a big future with him inside this company. No, I'm a laborer for the rest of my days. It's a defeating thing. It really puts your back against the wall. Nothing like burning every bridge before taking a leap into that one thing that you really want to do. It's the only way you should do it, quite honestly. Because then you're forced to be successful at it, right? And you got to have a little bit of your trauma. And I don't like using trauma because I don't look at my past as traumatic. But you got to have like some battles in your youth, It's too tough to take anybody seriously when they're like, you know what, I came from nothing. And then you come to find out they're like living in the suburbs and that both their parents are still together. That's usually a clear indication that it's tough to take anybody serious when like life was like really good in their teenage years and the only thing that they really could latch onto was like Eminem lyrics, and they're like, "Yeah, he's saying what I'm saying." I'm like, I don't think you had it that bad. Even me, I didn't even have it that bad. Okay, Dad left when I was young, single mom raised us, and still, like, I can't sit here and be like, "Well, it was so hard." I was still able to play sports. Mom worked her ass off. There were some like things that maybe lacking the attention of a male role model in my life would have probably helped me straighten out but then you wouldn't have this, what would I'd probably be something along the lines of, maybe like an instrumentation tech, journeyman, fucking carpenter, something along those lines. I wasn't designed for an office. I don't know if I would have fully taken the leap into whatever the fuck I decided to do, because I would have had somebody there saying, "No, son, you're retarded. Don't do that. You need that sometimes." But then when it doesn't exist, then characters like myself start to flourish, Anybody who's like, that's what I mean. You gotta have some fucked up shit in your youth to be like very successful. It seems like, it gives you an edge, something to prove. Having that lack of attention when I was younger. Now in my 30s, I'm still like, fuck, man, nobody loves me. What do I gotta do to make people love me? I gotta tell jokes. I gotta say fucked up shit. It's not a good life. I'm roasting myself right now. For those that are too stupid, can't keep up. Old Johnny back of the troop. Pick up your feet, boy. Get up here with us. Trying to have a conversation, say. Anyways, there's your opening monologue. We're going to treat this like a shitty SNL for opening monologue. I'll give you a story of the past. You know what I was thinking would be a great idea? I'm so tired of the youth right now with this like male female shit. Like both of them. Here's what I've come across now. We use technology to meet people, and then when we meet them in real life, you know what? You want to skip the whole fucking like, oh, I got fucking catfished on the internet. Why don't you meet somebody in public? Why don't you just go out in public and have a conversation and see where it goes, without the intention of trying to fuck them within the first 5 minutes of seeing their picture, And by picture, I mean looking at their face in public. Maybe you could skip the whole catfishing thing if you just met somebody by being out and organically meeting people. You know, your grandfather used to have, he would have to stalk a woman. He would stalk a woman like he was hunting in the wild, like he was a lion in the fucking wild, a pack of wolves trying to take down a goddamn doe. That's what he was. And mercilessly would try to get her number to take her on a date, but women had morals then. It wasn't about, well, how good are you going to treat me? That's what it was. Nowadays, you know, like men, they don't have jack shit, and women want all the shit. Inflation has fucked us. We got this weird idea. It's a couple rich guys come on a podcast, right? And they're like, in order to have your fucking women in line, you need to have a yacht and a Bugatti, right? What color is your Bugatti? If you don't have a Bugatti, well, how is she going to respect you? You know, you hear that shit. And then meanwhile, old fucking Captain Rust Bucket with the Honda Civic where the fucking, he can't even throw on a spare tire on the cocksucker. He's running on flats. Thinks that if he paints that thing lime green, it's damn near a fucking lime green Bugatti. We're all fucked up right now. We're all fucked up. The dating world is fucked up. There's other issues that are fucked up too that we're going to talk about, especially this veteran affairs where the medically assisted death was proposed to a Paralympian who is a Canadian Armed Forces veteran. We're going to talk about that. The Ukrainian soldier dancing. You know, a war is so dangerous that the defense of Ukraine. Now I know it might be like, here's a morale boost of this woman doing the Pikachu dance in our garb, in our nice, lovely Ukrainian military uniform. It's a good. And then our last topic of the day, we got hate mail, baby. We got hate mail. I know. But then our last topic is a TikTok of a trans woman saying that preference is transphobic. This is what I mean. The whole dating thing. This is why I'm telling you, don't go on the internet to try and find a date. I know you're like looking at Instagram and you're like, well, there's hot bitches in fucking Tampa Bay, Florida, but I live in goddamn Millet, Alberta. This is unfair. Well, boil it down a little. Stop looking so far out there, okay? Stop looking that far out there. You think if you can't find true love within fucking 50 kilometers, do you think it exists 5,000 away from you? Come on, let's be realistic these days, gents. Jesus Christ. Everybody has it in their fucking head they should be Hugh Hefner with 80 bitches serving them grapes. It's not that. Bring it back down to reality. You know, the boys are sad. The boys are sad. The women are just fucking arrogant. The game's all twisted. It's better when it's the other way around. The women should be sad. The men should be arrogant. It's just a better system that way. We proved it. Things get built in a timely manner. You know, the kids are raised with integrity. Morals instilled with them. Now it's just a free-for-all. You got fucking, you imagine? Dude, if I told my mom to go fuck herself, the things that would happen to me, dear Lord, sweet baby Jesus above me, God, rest my fucking soul. If I looked at my mom and I said, go fuck yourself, oh boy. Even me as a grown-ass man, I know for a fact that if I went 3 rounds with the woman that gave birth to the champ over here, I'm tapping out at 10 seconds in. I ain't doing it. I couldn't even fathom the thought of laying hands on. Nowadays, these kids, you see some of these, I'm not saying all kids, but it's more prevalent, I believe, than ever. Maybe because of like media being so easily accessed now and these like fear-mongering stories that I'm not saying it didn't happen in the past. I'm not saying it didn't happen in the past, and I'm not saying that fucked up things didn't happen back then either. I'm not saying it was better then and better now. Or I'm not saying it was better then and worse now is what I meant to say. But there was just like there was like some just these unwritten rules that existed, how you acted, how you carried yourself, that just seemed more appealing in a way, didn't it? Like you look at like the way the men carried themselves, they had this stoic nature to them, you know, and it's hard to come by now, you know. It's there. I know it exists, but it's almost like it's becoming extinct. Like masculinity is a little bit on the decline because we're allowing it to be on the decline, and and I seen a video today, and it warmed my heart. I should have threw it in here, but I seen, and this gentleman comes out, and he is just in the face of this 20-year-old, and the 20-year-old has this aesthetic and look to him as if like he's gotten his way all of his life just by being an ignorant little bastard, and finally he met the day. Or finally he came. Jesus Christ, Brandon, I'm getting too excited over here. Finally, the day came where he met the motherfucker that wished he would, you know? Finally met the motherfucker that wished a motherfucker would. And it happened. And this guy finally gets to unleash his inner beast, that testosterone, that masculinity. He is an older gentleman. I'd probably peg him in his mid-50s. And he finally got to be that guy. Oh, is it good to see? We need to. I love watching people get put the fuck back in their place, you know? That screaming, yelling, temper, tantrum, toddler bullshit getting tampered out by the fear of somebody whooping that ass. That is just, oh God, there is a warmth. There's just a shower of like warmness that comes over my body. And that doesn't sound good. I know it doesn't sound right. But imagine that feeling, you know when somebody gives you a gift unexpectedly, you unexpectedly get a gift from somebody in that warm, fuzzy feeling. You know that what I'm talking about? And it's just like, it tingles and you're like, you lose your words. You don't know what the fuck to do, right? Like your brain has a malfunction and you don't even know how to respond. And you're like, I'm not used to people doing nice shit for me. What the fuck? Do I owe you something? Right? And then that cozy feeling of like, oh my God, somebody cares about me. You know? Wow, somebody gives a shit about me. That's the feeling I had watching this grown ass man, put this young punk ass kid in his place. That's what we need, you know? That's what we need. And we need a nice violent reset. A nice violent reset with the youth. Because like this whole like, what are you going to do about it, bro? What are you going to do about it, bro? Fucking whap. Done. It's done. What am I going to do? I just did. You know, there's got to be more doing, not what are you going to do? We got to finish those sentences with a small act of violence. I'm not saying hospitalize the motherfucker, but like a busted lip and a black eye. That's it. Just a little like, holy fuck, it exists still. Like, I mean, well, that's toxic masculinity. No. That is not, that's just masculinity. That's how we as men solve issues. That's how a lot of problems get tampered down, right? When people start getting loud, you know, you start hearing that. What happens to you as a man? What are your balls telling your brain? Oh, baby, you know, fucking get it ready. You know, start your engines. Some Dale Earnhardt shit. Here we fucking go. Ding, 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 ding. You hear Bruce Buffer. It's time. You know, that's what we need back. That's just masculinity. That's responding to somebody who's fucking stupid and just needs to be put in their place. And I know that maybe I'm not explaining that well. My vocabulary is not deep enough to sit here and be like Jordan Peterson. Well, that's just what it is. When you sit there and you have testosterone running through your body, sometimes it is the inclination of your masculinity coming together. And what you want to do is protect the rest of the tribe. That's what you want to do. So when you see somebody disturbing the peace, you want to tamper that peace out with the only thing that you do know is being a monster. But being able to control that monster is what being a man is. No. We've controlled the monster for too long, Jordan. Well, I think differently. See, I like to get fucking blasted on Zoloft and ride my boat around on Lake Oshawa. And then when things go south, I'll let the Russians put me in a fucking coma for 9 years until I can come back. I'm not saying I don't like Jordan Peterson, but he is easy to make fun of. And I will say, he does the 10 principles of life. Hey, Mr. Peterson, what are the 10 principles? Well, firstly, you got to understand that the monster doesn't live under your bed. He lives inside your nutsack. And what your nutsack produces is something called testosterone. That's the first principle. The second principle is making sure you fold your socks and not leaving them inside out. When you fold your socks, that they should be, the logo should be facing out. Then it's easier to put your socks on in the morning. And you're able to save yourself probably a year of existence on Earth due to that time that it would take to flip your socks inside out. Oh boy. All right, Mr. Peterson, thank you for hopping on this podcast. Let's give him a round of applause for popping in here. Well done, sir. Thank you, Mr. Peterson. It's always good to talk to you. I have a blast. I'm a big fan of, maybe next week we'll get the 8 other principles. But I'm just saying, maybe it's time to just smack a few fucking people around. 2 years, okay? I don't care about your political preferences. In fact, I don't give a fuck who wins, I think it's just good to know that that if the government sees that we're still capable and we have that inside us, and whether I don't care what you believe scientifically, I don't give a fuck what you believe medically or your political stance. A lot of people come here and be like, oh, you must be a staunch conservative. No, I'm just like, I like the working class. I like the people that get up and go out and do shit. That's who I like. And I don't care where they fall politically. In fact, I don't like any of the politicians. I don't know how many times I have to explain that, but I like it when they are put on their heels. I don't like corporate fucking fags. I don't. I hate them walking around. I watched these 2 idiots one time trying to one guy introduced him to me like, hey buddy, I love it what you're doing. One of those guys. What do you do for work? Well, I'm in marketing. One of those kind of fucking dipshits, you know what I mean? Like, well, we have an interest in your brand, and I think we could help further you. Blah, 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 blah. That shit over and over, right? And then these 2 morons sit at the end of the bar, and they're trying to flex on one another on what type of leather their wallet is. Sitting there and being like, and as if, and it's in earshot of me. So I could tell the one was using this as like a way to rise up, pump his chest out a little and feel cool in that moment. And all I could think of is look at these 2 cocksucks. Holy Christ. Imagine sitting there and thinking what type of leather your wallet is a flex. Jesus boys, you better stop talking about them goddamn wallets over there, because I'll tell you what, you're making some fucking meat wallets fucking swelter over here. It's starting to get moist in here. Don't you feel that? Boy, oh boy, where is all this water and fluid coming from that's soaking the floor? All these ladies are just dripping wet over the type of leather that you got on a wallet, fellas. You guys gotta calm down over there. Holy shit. I didn't bring my gumboots here. How the fuck am I going to get out of here? I got to sit on this bar stool until they unclog the drains and we can get the hell out of here. I don't need to fucking tell Noah, get his ark ready and park it outside. The streets are about to be flooded because Dippy and Skippy over here are having a little wallet battle. Jesus Christ. Shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? We're going off today. I'm having a good day, if you cannot tell. I'm not, I'm just getting over a sickness, lots of rest over the weekend. Had a good weekend, had a few drinks, went and seen a few dances, if you know what I mean. Me and the old lady went at date night, strip club. And then we capped it off with a secret location that I cannot mention. If I seen you there, I seen you there. Time for a little ad read. DangerCatShop.com to get all your tickets to upcoming shows. All the dates that I listed at the beginning of the episode will be where we are. Plus, there are more dates being locked in, so get your tickets now. We've been selling out shows like a ma up in this beer. You know what I mean? That's slang terms for, we are selling out shows wherever we go. And the shows are getting better and bigger and badder every time that we hit the stage. We are there to give a performance of a lifetime. That's why we do one night and one night onlys. There's no weekends yet because I don't think clubs want us there for 3 nights. I'm just kidding. Plus, merch. If you want any Danger Cats merch, please head to DangerCatShop.com. Use the promo code podcast 69 and get 15% off your order today. Patreon.com/DangerCats69. What a number. Oh boy. And guess what? When you sign up there, you can become a Danger Dong Patreon. Like at the end of every episode or in the description down below, you see a list of names. Those are the Danger Dong Patreon producers of this podcast. They graciously hand over their hard-earned money just to claim that they are a producer of this podcast, and we respect those people more than anybody else on the planet. That's right. Maybe even the same people, even more than the people that Kanye isn't respecting, you know what I mean? All right, anyways, patreon.com/DangerCat69. You can get exclusive episodes of this podcast that you're listening to right now. Extra episodes and old episodes as well. The exclusive episodes are in video and audio format, so you can watch or listen. Isn't that nice? And we release a extra episode every Thursday at 3 p.m. That's right, the same time that you get this podcast, there is another one waiting for you right there. Plus, you'll get this podcast that you're listening to right now 48 hours earlier than everybody else, so you can be ahead of the curve on whatever the fuck is going on inside my head. Isn't that nice? Anyways, go sign up. Patreon.com/DangerCats69. Back to the episode. Yeah, we had ourselves a good weekend, even though I was sicker than fuck. This was old knowledge passed down to me by the likes of a man named Foxy, and Foxy, if you're out there, God fucking A, man. But this old dog that I used to work with, old boy, cool ass guy, right? Legendary oil patch guy from down south. And he told me one time, if you feel a cold coming on, you got to catch it at the right time. You got just like, if you're like a day or two into it, you get a bottle of whiskey and you dummy that bottle of whiskey. It doesn't matter what you mix it with, pop, whatever. Who gives a shit? It doesn't matter. It's the whiskey that's going to go to war for you. And you get that bottle in you, sometimes you'll knock that cold right out of the fucking park and you won't be sick at all. You have a day hangover and before you know it, you're good to go. Well, I took his advice and Foxy, I got to tell you, it didn't work this time. I felt like hell on Sunday. Got myself into a bottle of whiskey and boy, oh boy. Was not feeling good. And with that being said, a veteran like himself, let's get into our first topic of the day. Veterans Affairs say it has no proof former Paralympian was offered assisted death. Oh boy, what do we got here? Murray Brewster with the CBC News. Let's give him a hand. Let's give this blogger a hand. Old Murray Brewster, boots on the ground reporting happening right here in front of our eyes. Jesus Christ. I don't know what to do with myself. I better strap myself in. We might soar through the stratosphere with an article like this. Christine Gauthier told MPs last week a department official made the offer verbally. Oh, boy. All right. Retired Corporal Christine Gauthier and her service dog, Baddock, posed for a team photo with other wounded and ill Canadian veterans and serving soldiers competing in the Invictus Games. All right, here we fucking go. Let's get into this. First off, Christine, sorry. Why do I keep saying Christine? Because I see that and then I think Christia, and I always fucking call her Christia. And I shouldn't even be comparing the two. This is a woman that deserves our respect. But the Minister of Finance can suck my ass. Veterans Affairs can't find nothing in its files to suggest that a former member of the military, a Paralympic athlete, was offered medical assistance in dying by a department employee. The department's deputy minister told a House of Commons committee on Monday, oh boy, I can't believe that they wouldn't keep a record of it. Like it's a fucking YouTube comment section, for fuck's sakes. I can't believe that Veterans Affairs would offer to kill somebody and not keep her. I can't believe that. You know, you think that they want dead veterans? They simply have a lot to give to them right now. I can't believe that they'd want dead veterans. Jesus Christ. And trust me, I'm not mocking the veterans here. If anything, I have more respect for them than anybody on the planet. Paul Ledwell told Veterans Affairs Committee that the department has examined over 400,000 individual files as a part of its internal investigation of allegations that veterans have been offered or have been pressured to accept assisted deaths. Oh, I can't believe that they would not want that on record. That wouldn't be a good look. Would that be a good look for the veterans here? After Big Trudy just went out, in the past, when the fuck was that? 5 years ago? Maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and you look Brock Blashchick in the eye, an injured combat veteran who's missing a leg, also a good friend of the show and of mine. Look him dead in the eye. So there's simply just not enough that we can give. And you think that's going to, you think that all on record is going to give these guys a fucking boost up, a little boost in morale? Boy, the recruit numbers are awfully low. You don't think that this would be a good look? You know, I can't believe that I would want to sign up for a military that the moment I get out, that they have it on record, right? They have it on record that when I asked for a little bit of help, she was asking for a wheelchair ramp in her house just to help her get in and out, right? And their counter offer was like, well, why don't we medically assisted suicide? It's such a nice term for murder, isn't it? It's just like, hey, why don't we the government, murder you with your consent? Instead, no, it's just assisted suicide. Get the fuck out of here. My God. You know, the Canadian government is fucking retarded, but, at least they were smart enough not to put this in writing, you know? At least, I'll give them credit where credit is due. At least this time around, they were smart enough. Maybe don't put this one in writing or say it out loud in a possible fucking place where you could be recorded and this clip could live forever. That wouldn't be good. That wouldn't be good for the regime, now would it? Boy, recruitment numbers are sure low these days with the old Canadian military. I can't understand why. Why would anybody want to sign up for the Canadian fucking military when you ask for a goddamn wheelchair ramp and they're like, the best we can do is a noose. And we'll make sure. We'll watch you hang yourself because then it's a suicide. But how we assist is we kick out the chair. We'll kick out the chair for you. And then once the twitching and the breathing stops, then we harvest your organs. We sell them to the Chinese. Lot of money right now in kidneys. Christine Gauthier, a former member of the Canadian military and ex-Paralympian with a severe spinal cord injury, shocked MPs on the committee last week by testifying that the Department of Veterans Affairs offered her the opportunity for a medically assisted death. Ledwell said the department conducted a specific review of Gauthier's case file in response to her testimony. There's no indication in the files of any correspondence. Oh, the files didn't say it, so it can't be fucking true. Boy, oh boy, we know how much we got to trust the files, right? The files, boy, oh boy. We got to trust the files hold all the truth. In any notion based on the engagement with a veteran, what are you doing? It's changing the ads on us. Boy, oh boy. There's no indication in the files, in any correspondence, in any notion based on the engagement with a veteran of reference to made, Ledwell told the Veterans Affairs Committee. If the veteran has material or any indication of that, we again, as we've invited for other veterans, would welcome seeing that, reviewing, and making that part of our investigation. Boy, oh boy. Gee, we've seen what it's like for a veteran to speak out in this country. They don't get treated with such respect, and we don't praise their honesty for standing up against the Canadian government. We don't see that whatsoever. So what's the fucking point? I can't believe the audacity of these fucking suits. I tell you, they drive me nuts. They do. There's something in their fucking head, the disassociation with like how people interact, how we speak with one another, and just the moral code of human being to human being is totally ignored when it comes to these fucking suit wearing cocksuckers. I cannot stand them. You know, they're all blood sucking thieves is what they are. And they'll just sit here and be like, well, it wasn't in the files, so, I mean, it obviously isn't true. Yeah, because that's what you want to report. That's what you want to report sitting on the files is that we're actually just trying to tell veterans to, we will help you kill yourself. What we need is you gone. You're a strain on the system. And right now, if you weren't a strain on the system, we could send more money to the Ukraine. And if that was the case, then we wouldn't have to really rely on this little military that we got going on. And boy, oh boy, the last thing we need is angry vets leaving the service, right? Going out and being a little vocal, like my good friend, Jeremy McKenzie, who I get, hey, good news. He's out of prison, ladies and gentlemen. Jeremy McKenzie, who famously made my name known in the Emergency Measures Act, is out of jail, and hopefully we will see him returning soon to the internet. You can follow him on Telegram. He's a great follow. Very interesting guy. Very intelligent in the way that he dives into these problems. You know, he's able to look at it from a different perspective. Now, he is a Canadian Armed Forces veteran, and I respect the guy tremendously, and I consider him a friend. And some people may disagree, or they agree with what he has to say. And regardless of his thoughts and how he feels about things, I still consider him a friend. And we may disagree on some certain topics, but that's besides the point. I've always found him to be a very interesting person. And I've unfortunately I've never had the opportunity to meet him in person, and I'm very excited for that day. Granted, all the circumstances that he's in, the hoops and bullshit that he's had to go through, it's just like the meeting now, like meeting him in person and just shaking his hand. It's gonna be that'll be a special day. To me, anyways. For him, it'll probably be, oh great, another fag on the internet. But yes, he is. I don't know why I didn't lead with that, but he has been released on bail, out on bail, baby. Get some.
Come on, man.
Hey, man, Boozy, you know what it's like to be out on bail. Ain't that right, dog?
Gay.
Follow his Telegram channel. It is very, very interesting. It is quite something that what the Canadian media does to veterans that do speak out. You know, so I can't imagine that. Oh, we would encourage anybody that would like to stand up and speak out against the Canadian government. I can't believe why veterans. Oh, their life is already bad enough that they can't get the assistance that they seek. Meanwhile, I just need a wheelchair ramp to get into my house. That would be lovely. How about you kill yourself? How about this? We're going to make up this little program where it's legal for us to fucking murder you. Right? That's all it is. It's just a little paperwork. So what happens if she said yes and then had to fill? That's where you got to play chess, not checkers. Next guy's got to go in there and be like, yeah, you know what? I am about it. And then take those papers and be like, boom, there it is. Medically assisted suicide for a veteran. That's what they fucking told me to get. I want the paperwork. Ooh, that'll start putting some fucking fear in their eyes. Jesus Christ. Gauthier, who competed for Canada at the 2016 Rio de Janeiro Paralympics and the Invictus Games that same year, spoke before the same committee last Thursday, testifying mostly in French. She said the Veterans Department offered her assistance in dying and that she wrote registered letters to both Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and Veteran Affairs Minister Macaulay about it. The committee asked for a copy of her information in a subsequent media interview. Gauthier said the offer of medically assisted death was made verbally in a 2019 conversation with Veterans Affairs employee. She made a note of it in her personal files. She told CBC News Monday she was shocked to hear the department's denial. She produced a copy of a letter in which she raised her concerns, adding that she would expect it to be placed in her department file. Do I believe them when they say they have no proof in their files? No. In preparation of her testimony last week, she took note of how the department had acknowledged only 4 suspected cases of Veteran Affairs staffers recommending MAID. She said to herself, there's more than 4. Oh, you know what they say? A dead veteran is a little more money in the Ukraine's pockets. Sons of bitches. Now that's what you get. And see, that's what you get. When you sign up for the Canadian Armed Forces, that's what you get. When you go over there with the expectation to sign up, and it's not even that. It's the let's get through the recruitment process. Boy, oh boy, that'll take you 5-6 years just to get through the recruitment process here in the Canadian Armed Forces. And by that, you're probably aged out. So lucky for you, you probably won't even get to the stage of them offering you medically assisted deaths. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice that you can go and sign up for the military now, but because the recruitment process takes way too long, you won't even get the opportunity to kill yourself. With the government's needle, of course. Now, if you, as a civilian who's a little bit of a strain on society, wanted to maybe go and take a gun and size it up with your suckhole, now that's not as fun for the government. See, they want to take your life. They don't want you. See, that's how fucking sinister these cocksuckers are. They don't want you hanging yourself in the garage or leaving the car running too long in there. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Come on in. Let us kill you. Okay? Let us kill you in a proper manner where we can harvest your organs. You know? Let us do it. Don't do it yourself, right? Don't do it yourself. We don't want you independent to the point that you can even take your own life. We don't even want you growing your own fucking vegetables. Give us the opportunity to help you. Help us help you, right? That's what we want. Let's get into this. Speaking of, let's look at this. This is beautiful, isn't it? So, for those that are, hold on, don't stop it. So the defense of Ukraine, this is from their Twitter account. Morning Pikachu, this is the tweet. Morning Pikachu dance. Winter has never been an obstacle to a good mood. This is tweeted by the defense of the Ukraine. A war so fucking dangerous, we're doing TikTok dances. You know, we need more money. Over here, like she's on TikTok live. Let's watch the dance though. You can hear in the background. Okay, we'll watch it one more time. The background, there's just gunshots taking place. I've never supported Russia more. I'm going to go out and say that. I've never been like, okay, I tried being a little neutral, but after this, it's just like, Jesus fucking Christ. What the hell is that? What do we got? Anime girls in the goddamn fucking military over there? You know those gamer girls that are like into cosplay? That's what this looks like. This looks like some cosplay bullshit that's happening here. Fuck me. The Pikachu dance? The fucking Pikachu dance? This is what $80 billion gets you. But we need more money and sanctions. Old piano cock over there. We need more money and sanctions. So that way we don't want just one person doing the Pikachu dance. When we hit $100 billion, we're going to have the Azov Battalion do the Dougie for everybody. That's what we're going to do. We're going to have the Azov Battalion do the Dougie with a little twist. The hands are going to be a little higher and straighter, okay? And their boots are we're going to goose step down the Gaza Strip. That's what they're going to do. We're going to take the Azov Battalion. They're going to goose step down the Gaza Strip, and then we're going to start invading there, okay? The Russia thought that they could invade Ukraine. Now the Ukrainian Nazis are going to head over to they're going to finish the job that their little fantasy leader that couldn't. Boy, oh boy, what have we got on our hands? What a war. Jesus, it's like watching fucking TikTok lives. You know when you're watching TikTok lives and they're begging for money and they have like the little bar and they're like battling back and forth. I love going on there and fucking around. I'm not gonna lie, I do have a good time and just acting like a retard. It is a good time. TikTok live is just that is you will never find better entertainment than that. I right now I'm getting I'll get back to this. Don't worry. I'm getting this one guy that his local karaoke bar must be shut down. That or he's making more money on fucking TikTok live. And this buddy thinks that he is the next country singer of fucking Georgia or wherever the fuck he's from. But my God, is he awful. My God, is he awful. He's got a microphone in front of him that's not even hooked up to the fucking phone. He's using you can tell that the mic isn't plugged into maybe it's plugged into a PA system or something like that, but my sweet Jesus, it sounds like 10:30 p.m. at your local karaoke bar. And the drunks that have been there since 10 a.m. or whenever the doors crack open on that son of a bitch, it sounds like one of them cocksuckers that have been sitting there all day just pumping whatever's on special into their gullet. And they decided that, hey, I'm going to get up and sing a couple queef urban songs for everybody and lighten the mood. It's beautiful. There is just... I love just the view of how you can take a goddamn gander and how stupid people are. Just how stupid and how self-absorbed we are as a society to sit there and think like whatever we're doing inside our homes is somewhat interesting to others. And the fucked up thing is there's like who am I to talk because I'm sitting there and I'm watching it, but there's like 900 viewers and the comment sections are just like, it just as beautiful as the content itself. It's like, oh, this is so good. And it's like, is everybody drunk at home? Are we all just drunk at home now? We don't go out? It's like what I mean with the whole catfish. You can't get catfished if you just meet people and there's your first impression. Your first impression isn't her asshole. Then you're horny. You know, build up the horniness. TikTok dances. There's like Kalishnikovs just firing off in the background. And we got fucking Pikachu dance happening over here. Boy, God, fucking bomb them. All right, that's enough. That is enough. That is all I had to say about that. I'm over that. Let's get into this. Let's get into why you are transphobic for having a preference.
Idea of preference.
No, start this over. Okay, so let's read the tweet first. And then, okay. Preference is transphobic. Men have said they're afraid to date me. If you're thirsty enough, you should drink anything. Oh, boy.
Now let's set...
You know what? Some of us have the self-respect enough to die of dehydration, if you know what I mean. Let's get into it.
Now let's set aside the word and the idea of preference.
Let's set aside the idea of preference, okay? So don't think that... Don't put it in... Let's remove the idea of preference, okay? What I want you to believe for this is that trans women are real women. Real working vaginas. They produce babies, right? They do all the things that a woman, and then some. They can still compete in men's sports.
Debate whether or not it's a preference or a complete rejection, but when you've had men tell you that they want to date you, but they're afraid to, that doesn't really feel like a preference to me. And
one more time for the people.
We can debate whether or not it's a preference or a complete rejection, but when you've had men tell you that they want to date you, but they're afraid to, that doesn't really feel like a preference to me. And yes, I'm talking from experience.
Oh boy.
Now, preference is wanting Evian bottled water over Dasani.
Okay. Now, preference is having a vagina with a clitoris that is fully functional for sexual stimulation. And Dasani is just a shitty, dusty, fucking tasting bottle of water.
But if you were thirsty, you would drink either one.
Well, let me tell you, I've been thirsty before. Okay, I've been very thirsty, and I've set aside my morals. I've set aside my preference at times. Okay, in terms of weight limits. Okay, sometimes I'm one of those truckers that just rides right by the scale. I ignore it. I'll take the fine later. You know what I mean? Sometimes I just look at the scale and be like, not today, not doing it. I am fucking I'm not even gonna dance with that devil today. I'll take the repercussions down the road if you catch me.
Please, for the love of God, don't tell me you would refuse either one of those two over the other, because my faith in humanity.
Jesus Christ. It gets better.
Is hanging on by a thread here. So, my TikTok, my rules. You cannot use the word preference anywhere in the comments. If you do, I will know you haven't watched this whole thing, and I will only respond with this random sponge emoji, and you will be forever.
Wow, got him. Got him. I'm going to respond with this random sponge emoji. Gotcha. Pwned. Owned. Bitch, you got.
Ever curse as to why that is. Also, I encourage others to do the same. So happy commenting, everyone. Now let's set.
Holy Christ. Listen. Now we've advanced medically to the point that we are capable of changing men into women and women into men, and we're still trying to wrap our heads around what do we call it? What do we do with it? Where do they sit? It's an ever evolving society, and now we have to set aside our preferences and just kind of accept the fact that this is just a hole to fuck. You know, some of us want to procreate, some of us want children, and some of us just want to get our dick slippery, right? Some of us just, maybe you want your clam jammed. I don't know what you're into, okay? I don't care. Preference, though. Preference. That to me, that would be a preference, okay? Now, comparing water, right? The necessity of life, similar to a vagina, the necessity of life. The one thing that's going to, like I talked about earlier, you know, you look at your mother, and if you can look at your mother and still hit the bitch, and I don't care if she's a crack whore or she's a goddamn CEO of a hedge fund, all right? That lady gave you life. There still should be a small amount of respect for her, regardless of the world she brought you into, okay? That's why we like the ladies. The ladies, like the cis ladies, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how to navigate in those waters. I'm too stupid. I'm uneducated. Okay. I got a GED from a high school in a small town in southern Alberta. Okay. It was a Catholic school on top of it. So my knowledge of the big world out there might be a little more shallow. I'm swimming in the shallow end, okay, in the pool of education. But in my existence in the real world, where preference could be a deciding factor on whether or not I'd love to date you, but I'm scared to. Geez, I don't know. Probably because maybe because it is a bit intimidating, We don't know what's going on down there yet. We haven't, is it still, that's the thing, is like some of you that are claiming to be ladies still got, there's a hose, not a hole. So yeah, I'd be a little terrified myself. I'd be a little standoffish, I wouldn't really want to engage the front lines, you know what I mean, and get inside that war if I'm going to be tangling hoses. Now, let's say there's a little dilation going on. There's a little dilation process that's taking place south of the border. And I've had a few too many cocktails that night, and my vision's a little, blurry. It's got a Gaussian blur to her, and I'm floating around the dance floor, and you're looking thicker than a fucking double whip milkshake, baby. Then that's on me. That's on me. I'll put the vest. Fuck. I gotta own that one. Got me good. You hit me with the old Scooby-Doo mystery, pulled the fucking wig. Oh, boy, babe. Oh, boy, this girl bench presses more than me.
Set aside the word and the idea of preference. We can debate whether or not it's a preference or a complete rejection, but when you've had men tell you that they want to date you, but they're afraid to...
See, this is where like the whole dating thing starts to like worry me a bit. Is like, is this what it's come to? Is that men need to turn into women so that way the fellas have dates? Because the idea of the perfect man that exists in this upcoming generation, or what you hear on like, you know, like I said, these fucking red pill channels that will go out and do these street interviews outside of like nightclubs and think that they're getting like legitimate answers of you know, the overall thoughts and ideas of women that exist today. I think is quite honestly kind of fucking stupid, right? So now we have this idea that exists on the internet that women believe that they're deserving of a fucking $1 million mansion because they got a pussy or whatever it is. They're told they're all tens and they're the most perfect human beings on the fucking planet, right? So they have this idea that some millionaire should swoop them off their feet and give them the exact life that they dreamed of, like this Disney princess fucking life that exists in Hallmark movies, okay? And now it's come to the point where the fellas are just hanging on, like we're hanging on by a thread. It's like what the Dr. fucking Finkelstein over here is saying, and just like the fella, just like this person hanging on by a thread, the fellas are hanging on by a thread. We're hanging on just for the idea that maybe some of the ladies will come to a realization that being 350 pounds walking around in a bralette probably isn't going to be sufficient enough to have a CEO swoop them off their feet. I mean, most of them drive Ferraris and they can't fucking fit in a Ferrari, you know? Maybe the guy with the F-350 with a horse trailer on the back is capable of moving you from fucking city to city and taking you on the trips that you want to go on. But you don't see that. You don't see the perspective is off. It's all shifted. And the guys are just hanging on by a thread that maybe even just the pigs will see that, oh, fuck, maybe my expectations are a little too high, so they're hanging on by a thread. And then now here's our backup plan sitting here being like, well, preference is actually a Dasani water bottle, which is a real vagina, and I got myself one of those ones that can't procreate. And you're like, fuck, I was really hoping to have, you know, I just want to have a kid that I can go watch play Timbits hockey, and I can lose my mind while I'm getting half snapped in the parking lot at 8:30 a.m. And then I come home to a wife that just despises me because I can't put the bottle down and be the man she thought I was going to be, right? And I don't get to be that because this is what's left. That's all I wanted. I want to take my kid to T-ball half snapped in the morning. That's what I want to do. You know, I want to hate my job. I want to wake up and just like live all these experiences that I didn't get an opportunity to live through my son, through my daughter, through sports, through her education, through whatever interest that she has. I want to be involved in them. I just want to be a little bit better than my dad, you know, just a little bit better than my dad. I don't want to leave. I don't want to, you know, abandon the family. But in the same sense, if this is all that's left, like, fuck. So what do I got to adopt and lie? What do I got to do here to just get what I want out of life? You know? What do I got to do? It's getting crazy out there, but this is what we're dealing with. Aaron Moher Comedy is the TikTok account. And I'm sure that there's plenty of excellent jokes. You can check her out. See how progressive I am by admitting that is a woman. But with that being said, you know what time it is. It is time for the main event of the evening. Hate mail. It's what we love. It's what we love. It's what we live for. Okay. And like I said, I read everything word for word. There was a message that I did skip over because it seemed like more of a a merch inquiry than it more so was hate mail. So we fixed that problem. I don't know if it would be considered hate mail, but we do have hate mail today, and I'm happy for it. I appreciate it. I encourage it. And you can send it to me at unclehack at dangercats.tv. Use the subject line hate mail. It is one of our favorite things on this show. You know, unlike the reporters and the bloggers of the Canadian media where they're crying and whining and complaining about it. No, on this show, we appreciate it. We're happy for it. We want it. And that's why it exists here and here only. I love doing that right there. I feel like I'm introducing a band or something like that. Okay, let's get into this. Oh, say, can you see the hate mail for me? Here it is. Kind of funny. You sit there and make fun of trans people when you look like you haven't even hit puberty yet. Thank you. You barely even grow a mustache. Furthermore, no one in Ontario wants you. Stop. I don't want to be there either. I appreciate that. Stop making it seems like you had anything to do with the trucker convoy. Too bad Auschwitz didn't do a better job on your family line. If that was the case, we wouldn't have to listen to your shitty podcast. I'm offended that you think I'm Jewish. I am deeply offended. My great-great-grandfather, who is staunchly German, I may add, is rolling in his grave. Is my nose that big? It can't be that big, is it? Furthermore, this is great. I like this. This was exactly how I wanted to end the show. And notice how I lined that up? You see, we put a little time and care. It looks like I'm just going off the cuff on this show, doesn't it? It looks like I sit there and I just go off for an hour. I talk to myself, but sometimes we line up things so they're so perfect. We just sat there, a trans woman, crying about there's no good men left. And then what did we do? What did we do? You're damn right, Senior Chan. Looks like you haven't hit puberty yet. I like that. That means I look young. It means I just turned 32 last week. So it means I look young. I'm feeling young. I'm feeling spry. I'm ready to get out there. I'm ready to, like maybe we should go out and have a fake Reddit meetup and it turns into a Royale Rumble. There you have it. There's our hate mail for this week. I'm excited that the show went as great as it did. If you're looking for a community of assholes, be sure to check out down below in the description and join our Telegram channel or our Discord channel. That's right. You can chat with Danger Cats from all across the world. Talk shit. There's a roast me channel in there. It's a last place where we let our audience say and do whatever the fuck they want. We don't care. You can talk shit on me. You can talk shit with me. I don't give a fuck. In fact, I like this audience because of things like that keep me incredibly humble. There's no room for letting my ego getting out of control with an audience like that. And that's why I respect the fucking hell out of you. I respect the goddamn hell out of you. And I'd respect you more if you went to patreon.com/dangercat69 and supported this podcast. I'm begging, I'm pleading for you to give me your money, your hard-earned money, okay? Like, think of me as like the Ukraine. Right now, I need more sanctions on other podcasts, and I need your money to fight the war on whatever war that you want me to fight, okay? The war on speech in Canada. That's right. If you want me to fight the war, then go to patreon.com/dangercat69. There's an extra episode waiting for you right now on our Patreon episode, video and also audio. Oh, isn't that nice? Plus all of our roast battle footage, which roast battle will be coming up again January 20th in Calgary, Alberta. If you missed the past ones and you want to see who Charles Haycock is, the last battle is now live on our Patreon, patreon.com/dangercat69. And thank you for listening. And we will see you next week, Thursday at 3 p.m.